evening. Our top story this week. In Arizona, a new flurry of revelations is making their way around the scandal-ridden child protective industry as the legislature balks at the governor's reform efforts. 5 former CPS agents who were fired in the scandal are getting ready to sue the state because they were used as scapegoats in the child protective industry's blame game regarding 6,500 child abuse reports that were closed without an investigation, while everybody else is wondering why they're not firing the state's DES director, Clarence Carter, since the failures happened while under his leadership. In Florida, the child protective industry is trying to hide their failures by keeping a lid on the state's child death records, although the state's new CPS boss, Mike Carroll, pledges to keep them as open as can be, with a supposed greater emphasis on preventing child deaths. In South Carolina, it is revealed that the child protective industry has been keeping CPS agents on the books in an effort to fluff the numbers for several months after they left their positions. And it is also revealed that Governor Nikki Haley of South Carolina refused the resignation of the state's failure of a CPS boss not once but twice. In California, it is being suggested that school teachers undergo sensitivity training regarding the special needs of foster kids. In South Dakota, the child protective industry is keeping secret about all of the sexual and physical abuse that goes on in that state's foster care system. In Nebraska, they're trying to raise the pay for foster parents while cutting the funding provided to the foster care agencies who support them. In Oklahoma, the first grades on the state's child welfare reform efforts that were ordered due to a class action lawsuit by an advocacy group called Children's Rights are released, suggesting that the state is still not up to snuff. Due to the ever-increasing obstacles and bans against international adoptions to American families, wannabe but infertile parents are increasingly looking to foster care to acquire your kids of their very own. And the United States still has as many as 5,100 kids from undocumented parents who are being or have been deported, leaving the parents to fight from across borders or while behind the walls of detention centers. Another child dies while under the watchful eye of the Massachusetts child protective industry, but the parents aren't happy with the plan. The lawyers for the family are blasting the child protective industry, saying that they shouldn't have released the details of a reunification plan with the news media before they released it to the parents. Massachusetts CPS will not be letting Justina spend any time with her mother on Mother's Day, and all across the country, tens of thousands of other foster kids won't be able to see or talk to their real moms on Mother's Day either. In India, a man is arrested for sexually assaulting his foster daughter. In New Zealand, a couple of foster parents get away with abusing a kid. In Canada, a cop gets kicked in the nuts while in the process of arresting 2 girls who beat the crap out of their foster mother. 4 more stolen kids are returned to their parents after being captured in Ontario while trying to flee the child protective industry, who was attacking their Orthodox Jewish sect in Quebec. And in England, the Birmingham Council still can't manage to recruit enough baby stealers to take all the kids that they want. In California, a foster parent was arrested for physically abusing a boy who was placed with her. The Los Angeles County CPS agent was fired after foster kids under his care came forward claiming that he sexually propositioned them. An 11-month-old foster kid from Stockton, California has died as a result of the injuries she suffered after being shaken in a new foster home, and it looks like the foster father will be facing homicide charges in that case. In Florida, a CPS agent is squirming after being called on the fact that his written report was different from what he told police, who was investigating the death of a child who he had been protecting. In Illinois, a foster dad is ordered to stand trial for the murder of a 7-month-old foster kid. In Louisiana, a foster mother is found guilty on 10 charges of second-degree cruelty to a juvenile. And in Michigan, a former foster parent gets 7 to 15 years for criminal sexual conduct against foster kids. In Utah, a man who sexually abused teens at a group home is bound over for trial. In West Virginia, a female CPS agent gets busted for sexually assaulting 16-year-olds who are assigned to her caseload. In Vermont, a man who killed his foster mother when he was 17 says he's changed. And in Wisconsin, a foster father gets 3 years for possessing child porn. In Florida, a judge rules that the kids who were found in a pot-growing household can stay with their parents. In Indiana, a real mother is warning about phony CPS agents who came into her home and threatened to take her kids away. In Maine, legislators are calling for a review of the state's family courts following the complaints of parents who are dismayed by the news of a recent promotion of an unpopular family court judge to deputy chief judge of the Maine district courts. In Idaho, a foster mother is fighting against the biological family members who got custody of the foster kids she wanted to adopt, calling the situation a horrible injustice. And finally, tonight in Louisiana, they're trying to adopt out a little boy whose younger brother and sister have already been adopted out to different families. For these stories and all the latest dirt on the child protective industry, visit www.legallykidnapped.com. And until next week, this is Baby LK, over and out.